Alright, what's up YouTube? We're back with a video. I kind of went on this video on a Possum Budge channel and I seen this hysterical fucking comment by AJL Thrifty, who's commented on the channel before, and he says, "Oh, I have made a video about your content." Then he put, "Who cares?" Right, so, I laughed and then he's like, "Fair enough, mate, just want to make sure if you had seen it. I don't like seeing people talk about people I like to watch." Okay, so I went ahead and laughed at him, yeah? So, basically in this video, he shows, like these cards, like this card, right? And he's saying that people want to pump, "Oh, let's make this card worth $400, right? Now I'm going to tell you something in this video, right? Or just in general. Don't listen to these fucking people who are mad at people investing in Pokemon and making money, right? Don't be mad. Look at them and say, you know what? How do I do that? Yeah? Because there's a video, if you go on his channel, right? And you go to his videos, right? And then you scroll down and then the answer to his, "Oh, who cares?" Well, wait a minute. You was making videos about fucking nostalgianomics, and you was going, "Oh, well, this guy buys these booster boxes, and I buy fucking Funko Pops," right? So I'm going to take you back to this video, right? Because you know what's funny, right? Is when people like this mention these cards, and I'll give you a prime example of a specific card that me and James, another guy off the channel, because obviously I speak to certain people on Instagram, right? And we have discussions, through messages and whatever. There's another guy I speak to that is legit a millionaire, right? So the principle is of these kind of conversations and topics is, Team Up? When Team Up came out and they had the Latios and Latias card, right? You know which one it is, right? Basically, the two birds come up and they show like, it's like a love heart within the two birds that are coming together, right? Now, let's just say, for example, me and my friend was like, "Yo, that card's shit. It's like 12 quid. We don't care about that. It's Bob, rubbish." And we was like, "Yo, the Pikachu Zekrom is the best card in the box." Because as a Pikachu fan or a Zekrom fan, we looked at that card, that would be the best card in the box that goes up in the value the most, right? Like, I've got that version in a Gem Mint 10, right? Which I didn't sell because, it's for a personal collection. Now, what you've got to remember is that time that happened is going to happen again. But what card will it be? You don't know, right? You don't know what card it's going to be, right? Now, the newer cards from the newer sets are reprinted or printed a lot, right? So usually what happens is pull it, grade it, pull it, grade it, pull it, grade it, right? Now, another item in this video, right, is going to, like, if you listen to people like this, I swear to God, like, you will have no money. Like, you will never make any, like, financial success or any money that this guy, because let me tell you something. This guy is only doing YouTube because he's making money from ad revenue. And there's another guy I watched earlier today that said the same thing, that these people are on YouTube going, "Pokemon investing, and then they're like, and they're making ad revenue. They're making more money off the videos than they are buying the product, because they're not buying the product." Like, and then he goes ahead and he's like, "Are these ETBs worth investing in?" Okay, I'm going to give you the breakdown, right? SVO1, SVO2, SVO3, SVO4, SVO5, and SVO6. Yeah? If you don't know what them sets are, Scarlet Violet base set, Paldea Evolved, Twilight Masquerade, right? Paradox Rift, and, and the other ones, right? So, there's a video about, Alpha Investments, right? And Alpha Investments has got, I would say, 4,000, 5,000 boxes sealed of Paradox Rift, right? He went ahead and took a large proportion of a stock, of a company that wanted to dump, the product off their books, because they want to either sell it at a loss or they sell it to someone bigger, right? And that's usually the case, what happens with everything. Now people are like, oh, but perky investing is diabolical. Right, so what you're saying is you're officially mad that there's people making more money than you in this hobby than he is, yeah? Like, for example, I bought a Primal Clash booster box, right? I bought 3 of them when there was 140 quid. No one wanted them, pretty much like I did a box break, I was going to sell them, open a couple packs, I opened a couple packs, whatever, right? And it was fun and an enjoyable experience, right? Now, is it a financial decision to do that kind of thing? No. And this is where people that listen to these kind of guys, right, who say, oh, yeah, this probably will never be worth anything, right? So Alpha Investments literally said on one of his videos that this set will be worth money later on, right? Oh, will it be an ETB? It'll be more likely the booster box. The booster box is a guaranteed, usually an SIR or a special illustration rare that comes out the box, right? That's what it used to be, right? It could be like a trainer, or let's take, for example, Glory of Team Rocket. Glory of Team Rocket has, for example, has the Mewtwo card, right? And the Mewtwo card is everyone wants to hit the Mewtwo card. Now, when I was watching Nostalgianomics last night on his live stream, they bust the crowbar out of the box and he's like, oh, that's the hit, that's the finish, yeah, that's the, the art rate, that's the box that completes the box, you won't get nothing else, right, as good, that's the hit, yeah. And people like this guy who constantly like dictate and say, oh, this is not an investable product, and then he says, ha, and then he says a couple of minutes later, oh, go and pick some of these up. I have some. And it's like, so, you know what this kind of guy is, right? He don't want you to buy any fucking sealed product because he's buying sealed product and he's making out to his followers that are not buying sealed product. Like, yeah, I bought 3 booster boxes. I bought a bunch of 151. Right, am I going to open them on the videos? No, I'm not opening the booster boxes on the videos. Why would I open the booster boxes on the videos after making the same mistake that I did with Primal Clash? I can literally just go on eBay, buy the card I want for like 30, 40 quid, right? And, I can keep a sealed box, right? So, for example, Paradox Rift. I like Paradox Rift. When I was opening Paradox Rift, I'm like, yo, this set's banging, right? People sitting there saying, oh, yeah, Paradox Rift is shit, it's slept on, rubbish set, blah, blah. No one's looking at it, all right? No one's looking at it. So you then say, okay, maybe I'm going to buy a couple of them. No one's looking at it. Do you remember when this Latios and Latias card, with the love hearts, no one was looking at it. It was £12, $12, $15, $20. You could get it from Troll and Toad for like $20. Did anyone give a shit? No one gave a shit about that card, right? And now look at that card. That card's like $2,000, $2,000. Same thing with Shiny Mewtwo. No one wanted. Who gave a fuck about Shiny Mewtwo? Yeah, from Shiny Legends. Oh, I made a video about this fucking card that literally went to 1,500. Am I mad? No, I'm not mad at that card because I got rid of it at the point that, I sold it because I didn't want it. That's why I still have the Team Up Zekrom card in a Gem Mint 10 and I didn't get rid of the other one, right? And I got rid of the other one because, certain cards that I like, yeah, I keep. There's certain cards I don't like, I sell, yeah? And that's just the way it goes, right? So he's sitting there. And then he's like, oh, and then he's like, oh, then he's going to this one, and then he's like, oh, right, why can't we pump this one to fucking, this Maram card? All right, so I'm going to tell you guys a little fucking thing you can do with Grok, right? You can go to Grok, and you can type in how many booster packs does it take to open to hit SIRs, or special illustrations, or whatever. Go on Twitter and go use the app, right? I'm not putting my Twitter in the videos, if, what's it called, the people that message me on Instagram, if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'll share it with the people that I share it individually with them people on there, right? So, I'm more like a shit poster on there anyway. So, anyway, this Maram card, right? So, basically, if you take the odds of the, Grok, I said to Grok, JoeG cards hit 2 shiny Mewtwo's in 2 boosters in shining, right? And he graded both Gem Mint 10s. And then it was like, Grok said, this is a 1 in 40,000 chance to land those 2 cards, and the average of opening those boosters, it will take over 100 something packs. So let's say this Miram card is fucking £20, yeah? And you go on eBay and you go find 10 of them and you go grade them all and grade Gem Mint 10s, right? And then you sit there, and this is a cool card because I'm going to buy this card anyway. Like, I want this card. I think it's pretty sick. Pikachu's chilling in the corner right at the top. So, you know, I'm a Pikachu fan, right? So, he's saying, oh, maybe we can pump this card up to so-and-so value. Well, let me just put it to you like this, right? These certain sets and certain boxes have a certain hit rate and how long it takes to hit a pack, right? Let's say, for example, you know, Rip and Shippers. Rip and Shippers are busting like 1,000 boosters a night, and you're not even seeing these cards come out. Like, you're not seeing these cards come out. Like, you're seeing, you know, say like Paradox Rift, you're seeing that like Rock Stallinger card and whatever. You're seeing these like illustrations like, you know, the other one that I pulled the other day, like the really rubbish ones, right? The ones that are not going to be like the hit from the box, right? So, you know, he's like, oh, maybe we can't pump this box. And he's like, oh, Evolving Skies. Oh, guys. Right, like, I never knew why, you know, Moonbryon hit that much value anyway. Like, I don't even know why Moonbryon went to that much, like, value. Because the amount of PSA 10s graded is, like, 15k. Now, you know, this is the type of guy, right, that probably has no stocks, right? This Opossum Bud probably has no stocks, no Bitcoin, no savings, no money in the bank, right? I reckon that's exactly what type of guy he is. Because savings, you earn interest on your money, right? If you have stocks, you get paid dividends, and dividends pay, like, you know, some of them are paying like 16%, 17%, right? And they kick out some good fucking funds off, right? And then you've got, you know, your Evolving Skies booster packs. One guy said, fuck Bitcoin, fuck this, I'm buying Evolving Skies booster packs, and he was buying an Evolving Sky booster pack literally like every week, right? So that was his approach to investing, because he knows that big guys later on are going to want to try and rip the Moonbryon on stream. And he's exactly fucking correct. So anybody that sits there and goes, you know what, maybe we'll go out and we'll buy single booster packs of Evolving Skies. And this is why certain people, yeah, that will get financial positions. There'll be a lot of millionaires made off Pokemon cards, right? And it's a true endeavour fact, yeah? But the principle is, if you're somebody that sits there and goes, oh, I'm not going to do what he's telling you to do. Okay, now go back 4 years. Now go jump ahead 4 years. What about Evolving Skies, when Evolving Skies is like £3,000 or £4,000 a booster box, right? And there's people still buying them. Let's say people are still buying them 3,000 or 4,000. What they're hitting now, grand, hitting the 1,002. Now you could be like, oh, you know, sometimes when items get to that kind of value, you know, I wouldn't kind of want them sitting around. I'd kind of want to get rid of them, or, you know, put them in the bank, right? Put them in the bank, because realistically, you know, you got to have some good security, or don't shout about it. I'm going to do a video on someone else, because they're shouting about, oh, my collection's worth 200 grand. It's like, yo, whatever your collection's worth, shut the fuck up. Like, keep it to yourself, right? Don't go on YouTube, try and get views and content and clicks and views. And, you know, like, I spoke to another guy on my Instagram page, and he was like, oh, yo, I watch you because you don't care about views. No, I don't care about views. I'm not bothered about views. Videos can get 100 views, 200 views, 300 views, 80 views. It don't matter. I still make another video, because this is something that I like to do. Yeah, this is not something I'm going, oh, YouTube need my money and that. I can't wait till the 1st of this month, because I get a big dividend payout, yeah, and that's going to fund me buying cards. So I'm literally going to buy some singles, I'm going to buy some card savers, and I'm going to use some money towards grading. I'm going to grade some more cards, yeah. So who are you focusing on, you know, buying and what and this and that, yeah? And then he's like, and then he goes, oh, this is going to be one of them Leon Hart boxers. And he's trying to shit on Leon Hart and, you know, this and that. And then he's saying, oh, he's opened this. Oh, guys, Paradox, you know, Journey Together. Oh, this guy charged me $6. I got this booster box for $6. And then he's like, and then he's kind of shitting on this card, right? Now, let's just say, for example, I could drop something on the channel right now, that a specific card from this, like, I'm not going to say it what it is because I know for a fact it's going to rocket, and it's only going to rocket when the supply drops. Because what happens is, you know, let's say for example, someone lists a card at like £4 on eBay, right? People think that the card is worth £4. The card is not worth £4. It's because some guy don't know what the value of the item is and then lists it for £4. And then another guy comes along and sees his selling for £4, but he's competing for the sale first. So he decides, right? He decides to list the card at say £3.80 and undercut the guy who's originally in the place. Then there's a guy like that comes along and he says, I'll let these two guys sell first. They've only got one card each. I'll list mine at say £8, right? And then the first two guys sell out. Yeah, you know, even he might go ahead and buy the first two cards, and then leave the eight grade, or you know, the £8 card or $8 card at the first listing, right? So that might now be the first listing at £8. Then a guy might come along and say, oh, this guy's got his listed at £8 and I list mine at $9, right? £9, $9, whatever currency, Taiwanese yen, you know, Japanese yen, whatever kind of currency you're using, it could be anything, yeah? It's all paper bullshit anyway, regardless, right? So he paid £9. So then another guy can come along and say, right, well, I'm going to list the card at £7, right? And before you know it, what happens is the supply dries up. Once a lot of these guys get eliminated and swiped off, right? Someone then lists the card at, say, £50. And then the cycle starts again. It goes to 47, 46, 45. And people compete for the sales. Because the card is not rare. If you go and buy a trophy Pikachu, you know, you need a couple million, right? Because you know it's a rare item and it's not from a box. And that's why I said sometimes investing in cards that are from a box, right, it might be, you know, a risk. But it depends on what risk you're willing to take. Like me on the stock market, I invest in high risk stocks. Like I'm a high risk investor. I don't care. You know, my ISA is on, you know, high risk. I invest to make profits, right? To make, you know, if I see a company, I put my money in a company, right, and the stock spikes, and I'll back and sell it, right? And the stock now has gone down 50%, where it went up like 30%. I'm like, yo, I'm happy with that. Back, take my money and you know, and I'll put it in another one, and then the other one is paying me dividends now, right? So, you know, on the first of the month, like we're going to get dividends. He's like, this is what I mean about these people, right? Like Nostalgianomics, you know, I mentioned him again, right? He put a video out about, you know, specific boxes, and he's like, okay, we'll drop this box and we'll say that, you know, let's see what happens in 6 months, right? Let's see what happens in 6 months or 2 years or 3 years, or come back to that video and we're like, yo, let's see what happens with this. Let me give you an example, right? Rip and Shippers are opening that much fucking product. They're opening 1,000, 2,000 boosters a night. Yeah? This is product that would never ever get opened like that with just individual people. Probably. Yeah, there's probably, you know, if one guy is opening 2,000 boosters a night, and then that's just one stream, could you imagine how many streams are actually ripping that many kind of packs? Like, they're ripping thousands and thousands of boosters a day. Yeah? And obviously, what's going to happen is, Pokemon's going to run out of printing of that specific set. It's going to go down. Let's say, for example, Paradox, not Paradox, Palladium, Paldea Evolved, I think it's called, right? The one where you get the Magikarp from. Okay, so Paldea Evolved, let's say, 2 years, goes out of print. You know, Pokemon start printing 151. A year later, we're already in a year in on 151. 151's going out of print probably less than 6 months. And then it goes out of print, right? So 151 then goes out of print. So what do you think happens when all the Rip and Shippers are ripping 151? Well, the boosters are just going to keep going up until Pokemon addresses the issue that they have with the Pokemon product, right? They don't care. They want to sell the next set, right? Oh, the next set's cooler than the set before. Oh, everyone journey together. Wow, not even a month later. Yo, next Destinies is out. Yo, you know, Glory of Team Rocket. Boom, boom. Now, all the cool kids go, oh, we want this set, not the set before. So what happens is, let's say 5 years down the line, you know, they look back and go, wow, look at the price of that card. It's fucking rocketed. Well, why do you think it's rocketed? Because people are not paying for Pokemon cards. They're paying for artwork. They're paying for art. If you want say, an artwork of, say, you know, the Mona Lisa, yeah, you need millions to buy that because there's only so many that exist. If you have a demand for a specific card and you don't have the supply to meet the demand, the price goes up. Let's say with Bitcoin. Bitcoin somebody sells. Bitcoin's capped at a certain amount, yeah, or a certain amount of, you know, available Bitcoins on the network. Someone buys a Bitcoin, that's one Bitcoin off the market. You know, a country comes along like El Salvador and buys a Bitcoin. That's another one gone off the market. Let's say your friend down the road, he buys $50 or £50 of that. You know, that's now $50 that someone else cannot buy if he keeps it. So let's say, for example, you go on eBay and you hit 10 cards, right? And then you're trying to buy out a specific card, right? Like Crown Zenith promo, like we mentioned in another video, which went fucking sky high, which is like 9. It's probably, I mean, I bought some of them when they were like £2 a card. I was like, a promo from an ETB like being £2. I think I've still got some of them. I ended up selling a 10 for like £40, right? And then like, look what happened to the 10. The 10 doubled in price and went to £80. Another scenario of just exactly, you know, when do you, sometimes you have to look, when you exit these items, you can tell, or you can look at, is it the time to exit this? Am I happy with the money selling this now? And then that's what you do, right? Because obviously, as somebody who needs to keep the cash flow coming in and grading cards, like if you grade cards and sell and grade, sell and grade, sell and grade, you eventually lose long term if the value of those cards go up. Because, you know, you can't sit there and hoard everything. If you hoard everything, you go work a 9 to 5, and then you get all the cards, and you fucking stack them till you've run out of room. You fill your bathroom up with the shit. Do you know what I mean? You fill your bathroom up with slabs, right? Put them in waterproof containers and just fucking fill your bathroom full of slabs just so you can get in the bath, right? And then eventually when you've got the same card graded 10 times, you know, this card's now worth 1,000. Well, now that's 10,000 on your net worth, yeah? You can sell one, right? You know, buy some cool shit, but, you know, buy yourself a motorbike or do whatever you want, right? And just keep, you know, your net worth growing, right? And that's what's going to happen with a lot of people who invest in Pokemon and listen to certain people. Because what's going to happen is these guys who got 30,000 subscribers, and look, he's giving bad information away. He's like, oh, guys, don't invest in this. Don't buy this card. Like, yo, listen to your gut instinct, yeah? Your gut instinct's like, if your gut instinct says to you, maybe I should buy this, right? Maybe I should buy this item. Because I have the feeling that I'm making the right decision and it's going to tenfold, right? It's like, if you have that feeling that you want to go buy that item, go buy that item. Because you will more likely be right. And all the people that sit there and tell you you're wrong, tell you you're an idiot, you don't know what you're doing. You know, look at Alpha Investments when he was selling Primal Clash boosters. He couldn't even sell them at $1.97, right? $1.97 for a booster, and he couldn't even sell them. No one wanted them. And now you literally have somebody on stream paying $2,000 for a box to open it on video, right? $2,000 a box, and he couldn't sell them at $179. So like, don't let that same thing happen to you later on, where you go, oh, yo, maybe if I buy this, right, is it going to go up in value? If you believe that it will go up in value, more than likely it will fucking moon, right? And spend your money on it. Like, look at everybody buying all these boosters. Crown Zenith, UK, going on eBay, hitting 151. All them sellers are going to regret selling them packs at like 15, 12 pounds. They're going to regret that. They're going to regret that. You know why? Because some of them can't afford to hold them. They can't afford it. They can't afford, they need to sell to keep their business running. You know, they have to exit, they have to liquidate them items. They're going to regret selling them packs at like 15 quid a booster. Like, when they're 30, 40, 50 quid a pack, come back to this video and be like, yo, my man was right. Like, I'm hitting boxes off there right now. Yeah? It's plain and simple. You either buy now or fucking don't buy later and forever stay poor. Like, basically, that's what it is. That's legit what it is. Use your money. Like, for example, I've got a bunch of cards that we're going to sell, and we're going to buy more cards, and we're going to do loads of grading submissions. We're going to do a load of grading submissions. I'm doing back, bomb, grading returns, invest in booster boxes. and I buy some booster boxes and we'll do the same thing, right? Because I know, for example, after what I did with Primal Clash, I'm not making that same mistake again, right? Because that selling that booster box at say 2,000, bro, that's £2 on stock, straight on one stock that can pay me like 40, 50 quid a month, like 50 quid a month, like boom, yeah. And that's time away that you don't have to use, right? To spend time doing other things. You're freeing up your time, yeah. Time is more valuable than the card. That's why PSA slabs, right, go up in price, and they take a long time to come back in PSA, and that's what's factored into the selling of the slab. The time it takes for it to come back. So don't get burned, right? Don't get burned. Choose an individual to listen to, and if you listen to the shit guy, just prepare that when you look back in 5 years and you say, wow, right, look at the price of them items. Like, look when I was killing it back with 2019 Worlds editions. That was the most hilarious time. Like, I was cracking Mewtwo packs, cracking Mewtwo out the boxes, selling them for 10 each, and then it was £40 off a box, and you was making 30 straight profit off a box. And then the extra boxes that you paid off and all the raw copies you had, what did I do with them all? I graded them all, right? And Worlds editions over time climb, right? They have growth factor as well, because you can only get them, they're limited, and you can only get them from an event, right? And here's everyone looking at like set cards to buy set cards to invest. Kids now, right? Kids now are going to be opening those boosters in 10 years. They're going to be like, oh guys, you remember when we was opening these when we were a kid? And they're going to do the same thing you did with base set, right? And that's exactly what they're going to do. And, if you like this video, then I'll see you in the next one. Peace.